Hi guys, welcome to Counterfire. My name is Connor, and today I'm just going to be reading Anna Kasparian's Substack because everyone's freaking out about how she left the left, quote unquote, and I just want it to be easily accessible for those of you who don't have enough time to go find it, so let's go ahead and read. Independent and Unaligned by Anna Kasparian. You're right, I've changed. After Trump came onto the political scene, and especially after he was elected in 2016, the us versus them mentality immediately took shape. Anyone who refused to resist Trump, quote unquote, was seen as a threat to the country, and I was fully on board with that mindset. It all felt righteous at first, but eventually the tactics deployed to fight Trump became repetitive, boring, and ultimately fruitless. Polling shows that he has increased his support among Black and Latino voters despite wall-to-wall coverage of his unsavory, racist, or bigoted remarks. Several years of media raising alarm over Trump's threat to democracy has only resulted in a tight presidential race between himself and Kamala Harris. I can't help but acknowledge that the only thing that was accomplished by resisting Trump was less understanding and more division among Americans. I personally became reluctant to challenge my quote-unquote side or engage with voters who disagreed with me. In turn, I became less knowledgeable about the people and world around me. I saw Republican voters as an evil monolith, and that was a big mistake. My evolution started in 2022 when I was sexually assaulted by a homeless man in my neighborhood as I was walking my dog. That horrible experience alone didn't change me politically, but the treatment I received from the far left and some progressives after sharing the story did. I was told that by publicly sharing what had happened to me, I was stigmatizing my quote-unquote unhoused neighbors. Others accused me of feeding into racist tropes because they assumed that my attacker was Black, but I had never even disclosed the man's race. He was white. Not only did I suddenly see the flawed thinking of some on the left, I also witnessed their cruelty and hypocrisy in real time. These terrible traits that I had associated solely with my political opponents were obviously not exclusive to their tribe. I was stupid for ever thinking that was the case. That doesn't mean everyone on the left thinks or behaves in the way the small group of lunatics do, far from it. But it does mean that there are factions and flaws on both sides of the aisle, and no one has a monopoly on truth. Then there was the insane reaction to one of my tweets in March 2023. Anna Kasparian says on Twitter, on 11:29 a.m., March 22nd, 2023, with 30 million views, 27.9 million views. I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? Question mark. You can support the transgender community without doing this S-word. All hell broke loose after I posted those words. Most quote-unquote friends in left-wing media didn't bother reaching out privately to discuss their disagreement with my personal preference. Instead, many self-described socialists took it upon themselves to profit from conflict by publicly attacking me with monetized videos. A smaller leftist YouTube show put out 5 separate videos skewering me about this tweet, while conveniently erasing the advocacy I had done on behalf of the transgender community throughout my career. They even went as far as drawing a link between my tweets and trans suicides, which sadly wasn't the most unhinged outcome of the debacle. TYT's volunteer YouTube chat moderators quit over the tweet, and someone reported me to Human Resources. An on-air transgender contributor even resigned from the company after being urged by online mobs and leftist shows to do so. Curious that not one of these shows hired her after she took their advice. I never apologized for the tweet, and I never will. That whole experience forced me to come to terms with the intolerance of the left, and it allowed me to publicly reject the ideological shackles that kept my world small and less informed. Today, I'm less certain and more curious than I was 4 years ago. I made humiliating mistakes while covering political news because I was previously unwilling to consider or understand the perspective of Americans who vote differently from me. What to expect from Unaligned. I'm hungry for dialogue, a space for in-depth analysis and a judgment-free zone. That is what I plan to do here. Every week, I will provide subscribers with 2 to 3 written pieces that dig deeper into the big stories of the week with the intention of finding truth rather than promoting a political side, video posts sharing details on breaking news and political events, a weekly podcast beginning in November that will feature long-form discussions and debates with guests from all walks of life, engagement with me in the comment section for paid subscribers. Join me and be part of that dialogue. The point of this new project is the pursuit of intellectual freedom and open-mindedness. I want to nurture curiosity without fear of offending the sensibilities of loyal partisans. I reject arguments about the evils of platforming people who are considered too naughty to converse with. I want to facilitate dialogue. I don't know what my political identity or label is, and I'm not even sure I want to be pigeonholed. This is my effort in pursuing extreme honesty and humility in the quest for common ground and truth without the constraints of tribal identity. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there, just so people can use it as a reference in order to get the information that they need. I have no problems with this whatsoever. And honestly, I think that if more people adopted this tact, then the world would be a better place. I will be doing a commentary video related to Sitch and Adam breaking down Pisco freaking out, but besides that, you know, I want to leave this kind of as a neutral source for all parties to use if they do not have the time to go read the Substack. I appreciate your time and attention. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all that YouTube nonsense. Check you on the next one. Godspeed. Bye for now.